last time that I brought you a December daily video, I had shown you an envelope in the very front cover, and in there I had shown you how I'd put all the embellishments from the kit that I got into that envelope. But I was finding those embellishments to be not quite what I was looking for. I was finding them a little bit boring, and I didn't want to get into all of the inks and stuff because then I felt like I'd have to go through the whole binder with the different colored inks and stamps and all that kind of stuff. So I wanted to stick with embellishments and die cuts that I already had around my craft room. So I went digging, and lo and behold, on my shelf, right in plain view, I had this shoebox. Now it's a red shoebox. On the cover of it, it says Christmas. On the very, very front, it says Christmas. And I had totally overlooked it because I only use it once a year. So I went and opened it up, and in here I had things like twine, and there's some stickers in here from, I think it's a pack of Authentique paper, maybe? I'm not 100% certain. But then these are from Authentique, or Authentic, the brand name, the scrapbooking company. And these are two, and there's all these sets of stickers and die cuts and all that kind of stuff. And then when Creative Memories went bankrupt, I think last year or maybe it was the year before, something like that, I went out and I bought a whole bunch of their stuff, and grabbed it up and kept it in a little baggie. So it doesn't actually say that it's from Creative Memories, but I think that's where these sets come from. And then, so I went through and found that stuff, and there's all kinds of tags. There's these little sticker embellishment things, and there's a whole new box from Kang Company, so I know that they're from there. And there's some that are holly and some spruce needles, poinsettias, and so forth. And then there's all kinds of cute little things like a bird cage and a stocking. And then I got a whole bunch more pages in here. These are definitely from the Creative Memories set that I had picked up. And they're just fabulous. And you know what? A lot of this stuff matches the color scheme that's already in the kit that I was using for my book. And whatever isn't the exact color match, like this, is neutral enough that I can use it anyways. So that's what I am doing, is I went through this box and went through, and I'm going to add a whole bunch more stuff to the insides of what I've already completed. Now, I did already do the pages that I did. I'm going to show you again because I went through and added more embellishments to them from the box. So here is the book, and if you remember before, all I had on there was the base layers, and then I added all of these in here. These are just those dimensional stickers, and they really are quite dimensional. Like they are up on pop dots, and there's 3 or 4 layers to each sticker and so forth. So there's little poinsettias and the holly and the spruce stuff, and yeah. So that's the front cover. I'm quite happy with it now. And then, so this envelope is now empty. I will probably put some of the embellishment stuff in it, especially if I go anywhere, wanted to take notes, or maybe I'll throw the pictures in there until I can get them put into the book and stuff like that, or anything that I might end up with as extras can go into there. Then, so this is one of the deer from that set. It's just a die cut. From the embellishment box that I just showed you. This is from the actual kit that this book came in. And then this one, I had already talked about it, but I added in this holly sprig here. And it really adds a lot of dimension to my pages because I was looking for something to add that to them, but had been missing out a little bit. Here is that envelope again. I left that as it was. There wasn't really any room for embellishing some of these things. I still haven't printed off the pictures of the elves yet, but that's what's going to go in here. And I added in the December family traditions, and then Santa Claus with his little bag in here. I didn't add anything to this page. I added in the Christmas tree, and down here it says Happy Holidays. I added the sprig of holly in here, and the the top of the tag, the string at the top of the tag. And then, so this is probably about where we ended off. This page I left very, very plain. I should probably do something with it, but the only way I can think of to do something with it is to add something to the corners. So maybe I'll take a punch and put some detail in the corners, because this side is covered too, so it's not like I can just glue it down somewhere. So this is the night of the concert. I stuck the stickers on for concert night up here, and then I talked about the old-fashioned Christmas, and you know how handsome my son was and how pretty my daughter was. This is the old-fashioned Christmas pamphlet that the teachers' names are in, and whose classes and what songs they sang. It doesn't have the kids' names in it or anything. And then it talks about the school and how happy we are to be in it and so forth. This little tag, I just kind of stuck it in here. I wanted to make a note in here because we discovered that my son is partially colorblind. On the 9th, we discovered that. And so I didn't want it to be really part of this book, but I did want to keep it somewhere that, you know, years and years later, I wanted to be able to go, oh yeah, that's when we found that out, you know? Even if it's not until, you know, my son is in his 30s or something like that, then I have marked it down somewhere and not on a calendar that's going to get thrown away. So that's nice that I wrote it in here just to keep track of it. On December 10th, I didn't really have a whole lot to talk about. I did a dump run with my father, and it was kind of a happy thing because I'm trying to purge my garage so that I can get my truck parked in it. And so on the front here it said, Dear Santa, and I thought, well, what would I ask Santa for if I could ask him for anything? So on here I just wrote, all I want for Christmas is a happy and healthy family. And I'll show you that a little bit closer because I used different typefaces in order to make it a little bit more fancy. But I just used my regular pen that I always use, the Pitt pens. And then I added the baker's twine on here for the top of the tag. So then I got to this page, and I had pre-made this page. And what I had done is I'd taken the square and I'd punched out the holes, and I'd added this to the front of this, and I'd added this tag to the back of it, and I thought, oh well, what am I going to do with that now? And I kind of got a little bit lost, and so I just kind of started here, and I wrote the date and what I was going to talk about A Tangled Christmas Carol and Charles Dickens, and then I talked about what I did during my day, and I didn't know what to put on this little stub because there was nothing really fantastic or hugely memorable about the day, and so I decided I would just draw some little Zentangled trees in there. They're nothing really fancy, they just are a graphic that takes up space. And now that I found my box, I might cover that up with some other embellishment just because I now found my box, and I can put in some like maybe the nice poinsettias or something on that page. And then on the back here, I took those stickers that were on little sheets like this in the box, and I pieced together some of the words. And I've always found those sticker sheets that come full of words to be quite frustrating, I guess I could say, because there's nothing to do with grammar. I can never make a grammatical sentence with those words, and there's no, you know, I try to put in commas and stuff here and there, and it's just, you know, and that's what the whole reason I haven't bought those magnet sheets with all the different words is because I would find it so frustrating not being grammatically correct. But I didn't really have a whole lot to say because I talked about the day here for December 11th, and so I thought, you know what, I'm just gonna, you know, write some quotes and add some stuff to this page. So in here, in this frame, I wrote, a family takes time to build. It can be scary to open up, to be vulnerable to hurts, but the joy is worth it all. And the next one says, spread love to all. And then on down here with those stickers, I ended up with, at home together, you and I, spent time with all our family and friends, gathering warm and cozy, thinking of warm wishes, family time, gathering, chilly winter. You know, so it's not really a sentence or a paragraph of something I'd really want to talk about or say. It's just a bunch of words put together to get a meaning across. And I guess for this one, I'm okay with that. But in general, those sheets kind of drive me a little bit crazy. And so how I tend to use them is to do the different font types and use different words to, or different sticker sheets to put in different words. So I have just a big, huge mass of the sentence that I want, but it's in all the different fonts and stuff instead of drawing out all the different fonts. So this one is my husband and I had a date night, and it talks about how my husband and I earn the power to decide what we're doing for date night. So through the whole month, we have this whiteboard calendar, and we write down all the chores that we do. And the person between the two of us that did the most chores throughout the time, whether it's a week or a month and a half between one date night and the next date night, we keep track of who did the most chores, and that person gets to choose what we do on the date night. So this was my choice date night, and what I chose to do was something that he would like and I would like. And so we've been watching the Walking Dead series, and we only get to watch 1 or 2 episodes each night, which isn't that bad. And sometimes it's, a week with nothing and then a week where we're watching it every night. But on this particular day, we had watched one that had a really amazing cliffhanger, and we really wanted to get back to it. So I thought, you know what? I'm just going to get pizza, and I'm going to turn on The Walking Dead, and that's all we're going to do all night, because my in-laws had taken the kids for a sleepover. So that's what we did. We watched The Walking Dead all night, and went to bed extremely exhausted and thinking about zombies, I guess. But so I had this page, remember, that came with the kit, and I added in cozy time memories because we were just cuddled up on the couch watching zombies all night long. And then this tab came in the box of all the stuff, and I wrote date night with a heart on that so that I can just flip to it quickly to remember that night in the event that I, felt the need to. Then I just, because the kids' sleepover went into the 13th, because our The Walking Dead went into the next night or the next day, I wrote December 13th in here as well. So December 12th and then December 13th. It's kind of a little bit of a diary. And then I went through and talked more about what we went and did the whole time. And then there's this little embellishment down here where it was a red circle and then the little bell circle to put on top of it as well. So once again, I ended up at the point of one of these little envelopes, and I don't know what to put in this thing. I have no clue what's going to go into this thing. Maybe I'll start collecting bookmarks or something. I don't know. We'll have to wait and see. So, but I thought, you know what? It's just another surface. I'm just going to treat it as another surface, and I'm going to just use it to create. And we're great. So I put in the black lines first, and I thought, you know what, this craft paper does really good with adding white to it, so I'm going to just tangle the white onto it as well. So I've got one that looks a little bit snowy. I was thinking of all the snow coming down, having to shovel it, the piles and piles of snow. That's why I did that. And then on the next side, so that was for December 14th, and then I'm going to flip over and go to December 15th. And so December 15th, I actually did a Mixed Media Monday video for this page. So I'm not going to tell you or show you how I did it, but this is my page for the December 15th. I do want to mention that these letters and these little people, I pulled them out of a paper pumpkin kit from Stampin' Up. And I believe it was from one of the kits from last year, because I don't think that I got any this year, so that's where that came from. Anyways, so it came from that monthly order that you get. It was a book last year, and I wanted to use the little cardboard letters. And the reason that I chose to use them is because they weren't prepared. They were the raw cardboard letters, and I really wanted it to kind of blend in with the soft tones of everything else going on in here. And so when I used my Neocolor 2s with the water, it really kind of gave it this washed out kind of look to it, and that's exactly what I was going for. And then these little people coming out of the flower, they are from that kit as well. So that was the 15th, and then on the 16th I figured I had to finish the page so I could put it in. And so I don't have a video on how I did this one, but basically it's just layers and layers of gesso and Neocolor 2s, and there's some washi tape in here, and there's some stamping. This bird is just cut out of a I guess it's a calendar page from this past year, and it was the only picture in the calendar that had snow in it, and I could have tied in even just a little bit. So I was banking on the bits of white and the bits of yellow and the bits of black in order to tie the bird and everything in, and it seemed to have worked out not too badly. In behind here, I had layered on a piece of brownish grid paper, and that tied in well with the wood. So it all kind of slowly came together and became this cohesive thing. And I'm not sure that there's any real meaning to it. I just felt the need to art instead of journal, and that's what I ended up with, was this cute little snowy bird for December 16th. And then I took my Stabilo pencil and wrote December 16th here, just so that I know what date that one is supposed to be dedicated to. And then I went back and I put this Julia Netting doll on here, and normally when I do the Julia Netting dolls I use a stamp from Peachy Keen to do the face. This time I decided to draw the face in, and I drew in the mouth and the nose first, and then I drew in the eyes after, and I was mad that I ruined all of the work with the eyes. I didn't like how the eyes came out at all. I don't feel like they're in the right place. I don't feel like they're the right size. They're disproportionate to each other. And so there wasn't really anything that I could do. And so the thing I wrote for December 17th was, some days things don't go as planned. Just breathe in, breathe out, carry on. And then down the side I wrote, keep calm and carry on, with a little present. And then that was that for the 17th. So then on the 18th, that was the kids' last day of school, so it talks about how I spent the whole day driving all over the city trying to get all my supplies together for when I go back to school in January, because I don't want to do all that driving with my kids in tow. And then it talks about how the kids had their Christmas parties, and then once we were home, we sat down as a family and played board games, and then we ate supper together and watched the Polar Express together, and then my husband had a sleepover with one of my children, and I had a sleepover with the other child. So it was kind of this, really nice, cozy family time thing. We couldn't have had a sleepover all together because we only have a queen-size bed, and a 7-year-old, a 6-year-old, and 2 adults don't fit in a queen-size bed. So otherwise we would have done a whole family sleepover. So this page is just one of the square pages from one of the paper sets that I had originally put into this book. This is from the kit, that embellishment. And then this is a bunch of embellishments that I pieced together initially when I was putting the book together. And this page worked perfectly because this says love, remember, family gift time. And I'm loving my family time, and I'm going to remember it as a gift. So I really like how these words all tie into how the day played out, and that was really, really great. If you follow me on either Facebook or Instagram, you'll probably have seen my pictures of my little dachshunds at the window today. And this morning, or last night, we had lots of snow. And so this morning, my 2 little dachshund pups were jumping up at the window, and I had to put a chair in front of the window in order to accommodate them so they wouldn't hurt themselves. And they basically sat in the window supervising my husband shoveling snow and my daughter playing in the snow, and then they were whining at the window for about half an hour when they went across the street to go tobogganing or sledding in the park. But this page came with the kit, and then this page underneath, the white one, this is part of the Creative Memories pack that I got out of my shoebox. And these are also embellishments from Creative Memories that came out of the shoebox, and a sticker that says Once Upon a Winter Morning, and that's from the shoebox as well. So I'm hoping, you know, once I get the little picture in there that this page will be finished, I might make a few notes about the day, but otherwise that is today. And then I'm going on to the rest of the book. So far, I'm really enjoying how this book is coming out. It's really an eclectic mix of my art and embellishments and the talking about what's happening in the days and, you know, things that I may not have taken notice of but were important on those specific days. So I'm really excited for how the rest of the book will come to be. I'm a little sorry that I haven't been posting every single week or every single day, but with everything else that's going on, I didn't want this to be a slaving task. I wanted it to be an enjoyable experience, and so far that's what it has been. So sharing it on days when I feel like I'm complete enough to have enough to share with you is how I'm doing it. So if you like this video, feel free to subscribe so you don't miss the final one. I probably will only do one more to show you how I finish off my book. Don't forget to subscribe. If you liked it, don't forget to like it. Leave me a comment. Let me know if I'm doing something wrong or if I'm doing something right. And we'll go from there. Thanks for watching.